Well, welcome, you guys. Welcome to the HOTC podcast. You know, Q over there, Flo right here. I'm still in her introduction as she stole mine. We're just going to be honest about that. And speaking of honesty, that's going to be our topic for today.
So honestly, I didn't steal anything. I was just cutting it short so that we
stole
can
my
quickly
thunder.
go through what we need to speak on. That's all.
But it's all good. It's all in love. It's all in love. But today we're going to be talking about the H in our podcast, which is honesty.
Honest.
Honest. Steve. Lee?
No, it's just honest. Honest,
Er.
open.
Is.
Yeah.
All
honest.
All of the different ways you can incorrectly say honest.
No, honestly is a thing.
Yeah, but the last
Honesty
one,
is
I made up the rest. That's
You sure did.
people got it. They got the terrible joke.
Honester.
It landed on deaf ears. That's all right. I'm just gonna honestly still be myself.
No, authentically. Different word.
No, we need an honest counter because we're honestly going to be saying honest a lot. Honestly.
So does honestly include in the honest count, even though you said we're going to be counting the number of times you say honest?
Because the only way I can get honestly is with the word honest, so it counts.
But it's not the exact same word.
It's the root word.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Suffix in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You gonna start?
You're gonna start.
You're gonna explain.
You're gonna explain honest.
I'm going to define, per Webster's dictionary on Google, the word honest.
Yes.
Which is free of deceit and untruthfulness, sincere. I also like morally correct or virtuous.
Mm-hmm. What else does it say?
I don't really like this middle one. Fairly earned, especially through hard work.
Okay.
Which I get, but that's not
making an honest living.
That's not necessarily the type of honest we're talking about. So
it doesn't matter.
The next one would be blameless or well-intentioned, even if unsuccessful or misguided.
Okay.
Which is a lot of times kind of like
that can
a child's action.
That can happen a lot. It's not even a child's action.
I know I said a lot of times it would be a child's action.
I think it's a lot of times it's adult action too.
Okay. That's
Misguided, unsuccessful. What else?
Oh, simple, unpretentious, and unsophisticated.
Good, honest food with no gimmicks.
Yeah, that's their sentence example of that definition.
Simple, unpretentious, unsophisticated.
I don't really care for that one either.
Well, I like that one. The fourth one? Yeah. Of honest, of an action, blameless or well-intended, even if unsuccessful or misguided.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You move with good intentions, being as honest as you possibly can, and it's being perceived in the wrong way. Perceived in a malicious way. That's
not what they're talking about. They're not talking about people's perceptions.
He made an honest mistake?
Yeah, so why?
So I'm sharing it, I'm doing what I'm doing, but you're perceiving it the wrong way.
No, if you make an honest mistake, that would be the equivalent of me thinking that
2 + 2 = 6. That was your honest mistake because you didn't mean the right 6, you meant the right 4.
Something like that.
Okay.
That wouldn't necessarily be an honest mistake, but yes, because I know the difference between writing a 6 and a 4. But if Prince did it, then yes, I could take that as an honest mistake because he's still learning.
He don't even.
Exactly. He's not really on arithmetic, which is why it would be an honest mistake.
I think honest mistake is you knowing that it. Anyways, whatever.
You knowing that what?
You know 2 + 2 = 4, but you accidentally wrote 6.
Right, but I'm saying for us, that wouldn't really be an honest mistake because we know the difference between what a 4 looks like, or
not if your brain is doing a million things and you just like, and 6 just so happened to pop up.
Well, I mean, if
you end up writing 22.
If you let me say
reason.
my,
say yours.
That was your example. You stole honestly, you stole my example. So,
Honestly.
or my time for an example. I was going to say that would be the equivalent of me cooking and we have salt and sugar right next to each other, and instead of grabbing the sugar, I grab the salt and salt something instead of putting sugar. That's an honest mistake.
And you honestly talking about me because I did that and I told you.
No, that's just the first thing that came into my mind.
Cold-blooded.
No, it's the first thing that came into my mind because I was looking at the kitchen.
Oh
That's
my
all.
gosh.
That's all. So, but yeah, so that's an honest mistake. So it's not necessarily that I perceived what you did wrong. What you did wasn't the right thing to do, but it was an accident. You made an honest mistake.
Man, I couldn't believe I did that.
Yeah, it was a very interesting meal. Very interesting.
It actually didn't taste bad though. It didn't taste sweet.
It didn't.
So
It tasted very salty.
You're speaking of something else.
Oh,
That's a different meal.
Oh,
With the mashed potatoes and the salt.
yeah,
Yeah.
mashed yams.
Sweet potato.
Same.
Mashed potatoes. Sweet potato, whatever they are. But anyways,
Okay.
the topic is about honesty. Honesty is a very difficult word for people to exemplify, to give out, because fear of acceptance, not being comfortable in certain spaces allows people not to be completely and truly honest. So that's pretty much what we're going to be getting into today. Honesty, being honest, what does it actually mean for us individually, our marriage, our relationships, our blended family? What does it mean? What does it look like? How is it put into action? What? Why are you looking at me?
Nothing. I'm just going with you.
The camera right there.
I'm just waiting for you.
You getting me all nervous. I'm getting hot.
Well, because if I'm being honest, it just feels like you've repeated yourself a few times. So
No, I don't think I did.
I'm waiting for you to move on to the introduction of what it is that we're doing and actually get in.
That's what I did. I'm getting into it.
Oh, okay.
I'm diving deep.
Dive.
Yeah, deep diving into the middle of the ocean. Honestly. So that is what we're going to be addressing today. Honest. What does it mean?
No. Like I said, I'm waiting for you to get into it. So get into
we are
it.
getting into it. What does it mean for you? The people are waiting.
The people are waiting for you
No,
to
they're not.
explain.
I asked the question.
Honest, which is why I looked up the definition, to me means exactly what the definition says. It is your sincere reaction or thoughts and speech about a particular situation, person, or event.
Okay. How do you exemplify that in your relationships?
I tell people what I think or feel about whatever
Wow.
is happening.
You're being so insightful.
But that's the thing. It's true that anyone who knows me knows that that's what I do. Now I can say.
So honestly, what I do.
What I can say is that in my honesty, I do try to curtail my bluntness because it is a family practice, as in my family before I got married. It is a family practice to literally just say exactly what you're thinking, which may not always be received in the best light. So I have since learned that sometimes you have to choose other words to say what it is that you want to say to express yourself better and make sure that it gets across the way in which you want it to. But I am always honest. I always tell you exactly how I'm feeling. And if I don't have the words to say it in a possibly kinder way or a way that may seem more understanding, I will tell you. I don't have another way to say this, so please understand that I do not mean anything negative by it. And then I say whatever it is that I have to say.
Gotcha.
Is that not true? Is that not what you've experienced?
I've experienced exactly that.
And then some, because I've also told him I've decided not to use the kinder words in this instance, and then just told him what I was thinking. So he's also experienced that, to be truthful and honest, which is part of being.
But it doesn't matter either way, because I know your heart, I know your intention. So when you're speaking your words, it doesn't crush the soul.
That's not true.
Per se. You let me finish. I had to finish that tea that was still going down.
But you can say it doesn't do this per se, because then that means it does do it. It's just on a lighter scale. You accept it because you know it's not meant maliciously.
Yeah.
But it still hurts.
No. For a little bit.
You're supposed to be honest. Okay. So obviously there are some people who have a harder time being honest.
Yes, I do.
Than others.
I do.
So.
And I think we've said this before, but the honesty that I'm looking for is to be received, because I'm a really naturally closed individual. I keep things close to the chest. I don't really express myself.
Go back.
I'm not going back. I'm moving forward.
No, I didn't understand.
I don't really express myself. So honesty was meant for me to receive. So I was looking for someone to be completely honest with me. And because we're focused on the word honest, but pretty much the whole platform, right? Honest, transparent communication. You said it before, but it's meant for me to receive it. So that way I feel comfortable with you and with expressing myself. So it's always been, hey, it's my time.
I know, just know
Go
this.
ahead.
I was just going to say, might I amend your previous statements to be, your desire was to have honesty received, because it wasn't meant.
Oh, it was meant.
Nowhere in the dictionary does it say that you're supposed to be sincere, with the exception of Floydell, whom everyone is supposed to be sincere to. It doesn't say that. It doesn't have you as an exemption.
Not everybody. It's not everybody.
I'm just saying, it doesn't.
For certain.
Certain?
Yeah, for a certain person.
No.
Not for everybody.
It doesn't matter who.
So.
Everyone is supposed to be honest.
Everyone
Your desire was that honesty would only be given to you. You didn't have to give it.
Not until I was ready.
Exactly. That's not how it works.
That's how it was supposed to work.
That's how you wanted it to work.
That's how
you wanted it to work?
Was supposed to work.
Which means that's how you wanted it to work.
Which is how it worked for a moment.
A hot second.
Or two. Or three.
Not really.
So, yeah. So honesty is a big one. You know, it's a big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
To.
I'm sorry,
give.
that just tickled me. Sorry.
I need to apologize. Laugh it up.
No.
Giggle box.
Okay.
So it was a tough one for me to give, you know. As in relationships, there is a give and take, and sometimes there are more givers. I mean, there's a person who will give more and take less, or someone who will take more and give less. So it's finding that happy medium, which for me was a forced medium, because that was the only way this relationship was going to continue.
That sounds so familiar. I swear I've heard somebody say those words.
So,
recently.
Therefore, for honesty for it to continue to happen, you have to be in a certain space. And you have, and for you to be in that space, you have to create that space. So you have to create an environment where there would be no judgment, there would be listening ears, and listening to respond to what it is that you're hearing. So that was, I guess, what we started working on, was being more honest about what it is that we're trying to say. And sometimes she will question some of my phrases or words, And like, oh, so that's what it is? No, that's not what I meant. Well, you said this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what this means. Why you got to be so literal? So
That's just the way the good Lord made me.
So you have to make that adjustment to still give the honesty in the way that it is intended to be received and how that person will receive it. So you want to say something nice, but at the same time you want the person who's hearing it to know that it's something nice as well. So just making that adjustment.
Can I just throw out?
Practice.
Sorry. Can I just throw out a pet peeve? We're just gonna take a real quick left, okay? Can I just throw out a pet peeve? Words have meanings. They have definitions for a reason because each word has its own definition. Now, some words, most of them in the English language, they have synonyms, which are words that have kind of the same meaning as the other word. So if you can't find the word you're looking for, you can try and find a synonym. Now, in that comes the phrase, say what you mean and mean what you say. So if you say, there is a purple bear out there, and I say, I don't see a purple bear, and you say, right there, and I say, the blue bear, and you're like, well, that's what I meant. No, you said purple. Purple does not mean blue. I'm just saying. I don't know if anyone else has that pet peeve, that irritation. I do. I don't know if you could tell. But
if you do, just type in #TeamQ. And we will know that you're on her side.
Say what you mean and mean what you say. And if you don't have the words, then say that too. I don't have the words.
Because that's being honest.
Exactly.
That's being honest.
All right, now let's go back to the main road. We're back on the main road. Thank you.
Back on the main line. But yeah, so just working, that's what I basically have to do, is continue to work on that and still working on. It's not a flip of a switch and all of a sudden things are peaches and cream and we're living in Candyland, because there's an adjustment. So adjustments take time as long as you're being intentional about making the adjustments.
Intentional. Putting action forth. Intentional.
Yeah.
So, what's it you asked me? What are you doing to show?
Yeah, like how do you exemplify your honesty in your relationships?
Period. Just period.
Period.
I'm asking you.
You're asking me?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna answer.
No.
I'm over here waiting.
I was asking you because you asked me how do I show it, and I said
you just so
literal?
surface level with it. Just
it's not, but that's the thing. It's not surface level if that is it. Okay, so we really like Shrek. I am not an onion. I don't have 1,000 layers you have to peel back. I'm not a parfait. I'm just not.
everybody love parfait.
You know? I'm guacamole. You know there's extra things in there, but you see the things. That's it. I'm guacamole.
I don't see salt or pepper.
Yes, you can.
No.
Well, you can taste salt, but you can see pepper. If it's black or red crushed peppers, you can see it. I'm just saying, guacamole is green.
Anyways, you are a parfait because you can see what's in it. It's always in a clear cup. Colorful, white, granola, everything.
That's true. I guess, okay. So
You're
I guess
parfait.
I could be considered a parfait too. I just really like
What
guacamole.
you see is what you get. That onion, though, you don't know what it looked like inside.
Yeah.
Them ridges might not be ridging. They might be swerving.
What?
Because when you cut it in half, they're not all the time are they perfect circles. They might be, windy road.
No.
Mm-hmm.
They're either a circle or, what is it, an oval or an ellipse.
And some of them got the little wiggle in there.
Well, the next time we get an onion and I cut it,
That was the last one that I cut. It had a little. It wasn't a perfect circle. It had a little. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh,
It's like a circle, and then it did a little little that.
I haven't gotten one that does that.
Yeah. So I was like,
okay.
alrighty then. That's how I'll cut you. Just like that.
Cut like that. You can only cut straight.
No, you can just cut. Hey, I'm just following the leader. Follow the onion.
Okay, so right.
Oh,
Like I
it's
said.
not an onion. Well, I guess it is kind of like an onion scallion. It's kind of because it doesn't. It's not perfect.
No, because it's
got the little.
it's more like garlic. You have a bunch of them in a
Yeah.
small area enclosed in a sack.
Scallion.
And yeah,
I don't. It. I was looking at the white and I just said onion, but
it's okay.
the rest of it turns green. So
Got it.
scallion. So when you get to the green,
Oh,
it's got the.
you mean the green onions? Got it. Got
Yeah,
it.
it's
Got
got
it.
the
Okay.
little shoulder shrug.
That was so
I'm just
That
saying.
was so hilarious. I love how everyone was replaying that too. Anyways, so let's get back on topic again.
So how do I exemplify it?
Yes.
I can only speak from one perspective
How many perspectives are you expected to have?
because you're saying like just period, but there's only in one area that I'm actually able to exemplify honesty, and that's with my family.
Okay, so you tell us that, and then I have something to say about it. Go ahead.
You're ridiculous. So with family, it's a lot easier because they have watched you grow. They've watched you mature, and so you can, begin to, you know, you're in a vulnerable and comfortable space, so you can be honest at any given moment or any given time. With my dad, in particular, that is a small exception because we did have a great gap between us, and we've worked towards closing it. And then now, so sometimes when I'm being honest, sometimes I get a little hot. I'm like, oh no, that's my dad. I might get in trouble. I don't know. I have that in my head. Like sometimes I do, but other than that, I just say what I'm going to say, laugh because it'd be hilarious. But being honest, being authentic, being me, and sometimes, a lot of times you get that, oh, you have my sympathies, or Lord
It's a
have
great
mercy.
saying.
So
Great
sometimes
saying.
those comments come out because I'm a little slow sometimes, but it's okay. It happens. I am a slow bloomer. I've known that for many years now. Many years.
Alrighty.
But I'm catching up,
Okay. So,
Oh, I guess I can't speak from this perspective before you ask that question. Work. I am brutally honest when it comes to work. This is what it is. That's it. Because you can forensically have fun with numbers. There is a science to it. But at some point, you can't play with it no more. It is what it is, and these are the anymore, and it is what it is, and this is what you got to do. This is the only other steps that you can take. Otherwise, you're knowingly walking into a risk. As long as you know it's a risk, and I've done my job by expressing and letting you know this is what I've been able to do. This is what I can. This is how we can move things around. This is what the numbers look like, so you can get approved for this loan, that grant, things like that. But if you, at some point, you can't play no more. That's just it, concrete. So I'm pretty blunt in that area.
I would just like to first ask, what was the whole shoulder thing when you wanted to talk about at work?
I don't know.
You really, literally got into it.
Because I like my work.
That's excellent.
I'm putting emphasis on it.
So what
I guess.
it wasn't going to be a question. I was just going to say that when it comes to honesty honesty, like we read in the definition, honesty is sincerity. It's sincere. There's only one form of being sincere. So there's only, like, you shouldn't have, or how am I trying to say this? Honesty shouldn't show up differently depending on the people you're around. So your honesty with your family would be the same thing as with your clients for business. It would be the same thing as your job. It would be the same thing as with us family here, with the kids, with friends. Honesty is honesty. So it's not going to look different. It might be easier in other settings than some, but it isn't going to look different because it is honesty. This shirt is the color that it is. Now, when you go outside, it's not going to look different. It's still going to be orange.
Oh, really?
It's still going to be orange.
Might be reflective.
No, it's still going to be orange.
Exclusive. Crew t-shirt.
It's still going to be orange.
It'll still be orange.
So it's not going to change just because now you're in a different environment.
I wouldn't expect, I can see how that can happen because you're more comfortable in one area than you are in another.
Which is what I said, it may be easier to be honest with family than with family and with your job than with a group of friends that you just met. Yes, it'll definitely be easier because you just met them. You haven't really built up a rapport. You don't have that kind of relationship. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But when you get to that relationship, when you're honest with those people, it's going to be the same thing as when you're honest at work and when you're honest with family.
But I think even when you get to the get past the get to know somebody phase, depending on whatever topic there may be, and let's say someone asks you your opinion of that topic, everyone in the world has an opinion. They have an outlook on something. Whether they are well versed in it or not, they still have an opinion. But if you're making a conscious decision to just be like, man, and you just blow it over or blow past it, but you didn't express how you truly thought about something, that's withholding honesty, I think, because you're not, for whatever reason, you're mm-hmm. making that decision to not express your opinion because you
you're
don't
not comfortable.
Want to.
So we're saying the same thing.
We are saying the same thing. But still at some point, but you're saying at some point though, when you're comfortable enough, and even then when you're comfortable enough, I still think there's people that will not talk about certain topics or whatever, even though we all know in this world, everyone has an opinion on something.
Right,
but you're making the decision not to, and has nothing to do with you're just choosing not to be completely honest in the conversation.
Exactly. It's the same thing.
This makes no sense.
Okay, so
if honesty is supposed to show up everywhere, then it would show up everywhere and it will come out.
But that's the thing. Honesty should be everywhere, but that doesn't mean it is going to be everywhere. Common sense should be everywhere because it's common, but that doesn't mean it is everywhere.
No, it's not.
Which we know.
That's
exactly.
A rarity.
So just because it should be doesn't mean it will be. So yes, everyone should be honest in all facets of life. Doesn't mean that they're going to be. And that's a matter of comfortability. But
should be comfortable with oneself.
Comfortability. It's not necessarily they're not comfortable in themselves. They may not be comfortable with the group of people. They may know that this is going to cause friction and I don't want to deal with it. So that makes them uncomfortable, so they're not going to. They might not be a confrontational person. So they shy away from it. So they're not going to give their honest thoughts and opinions about whatever it is. But if they decided to, if they decided to give their honest thoughts and opinions, the honesty that they would show in that situation would be the same in any other situation with any other group of people. Mm-hmm. It would still be the same kind of honesty. The only difference with honesty is a matter of whether you are going to be or you aren't going to be. That's the only thing. Honesty doesn't have a bunch of different colors and different outfits.
And
it's
would you say
just
that's
the one.
That's a reflection on one's character?
What do you mean?
Their choice to be or not to be honest?
Well, it depends on the situation. Like I said, some people are not confrontational, so they're not going to get involved in a conversation where their honesty could result in confrontation. They're going to shy away from that because they don't want to be confrontational, which is understandable. There are other people, don't know who these people are, who are perfectly fine with confrontation and will have that conversation.
People?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know who they are.
I don't know who those people are.
No
wants
idea.
Confrontation. But they will.
Who likes to debate and argue their point with so much passion and rigor? Like, who does those things?
I know, fervently. Who
would? Who stands by their opinions? What?
Anyway, there are people who are okay with that, and not necessarily meaning that they always want to be in confrontation. However, it doesn't bother them if their opinions and their honesty creates confrontation.
Yeah, I would say that's it.
I was gonna say that would most likely come from a person. I don't mind it because I am. What did you say? I am comfortable with myself.
Confrontation could be a misconstrued word, though, because what we were just saying is like legit honest. There are people who are passionate about their viewpoint, but the person who's listening is interpreting that not as passion for whatever reason. So I've witnessed two people.
Mm-hmm.
One person is extremely passionate about the topic at hand and wants to share and people to gain understanding from what they're thinking, their way of thought. Another person is also doing the same thing. So they're going back and forth. But then there's that third and fourth person that are sitting there, and it's just like, yo, he thinks he knows everything. He thinks he's a know-it-all, or just interpreting it the opposite way rather than just being like, no, that's just someone who's passionate about the topic. They're trying to express their point of view. So is the other person. Why can't it just be a friendly debate? Just two passionate people having a conversation about something. Why did it have to go to, oh, you know it.
Laid out.
You know it all.
Other people's opinions are none of your business.
Well, that's true. I'm just saying.
So whether person C and D, who are not in the A and B conversation,
yeah,
whether C and D thinks, oh, these people are going at it. Why does he think he knows, or she thinks she knows everything? It doesn't matter what they think. These two people are having their conversation, and this person is passionate and this person is passionate. These people see each other and they see each other as passionate, and they're having their conversation. So as long as these two people have the maturity to understand that we are having a conversation where we're on opposing sides, but this is just a conversation, this is not life or death, then it doesn't matter what this person and this person think, because this is between this person and this person. They don't matter.
That's true. But
at least that's how I see it.
I've even seen it happen between A and B, which is why I like watching debates and trials and just witnessing other people converse.
Mm-hmm.
Is even between just two people, it's like he just don't understand. Well, why can't you understand that he doesn't understand, and respect what it is that he understands, and you respect what it is that he understands, and you end in the middle. So that's what I'm saying. Confrontation can be misconstrued as just people being passionate and honest with their position and their thought process.
But passion can lead to confrontation. Confrontation doesn't necessarily have to be positive and negative. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just conflict. If you're on opposite sides, that creates a conflict. Now, since the two of us, since we're being honest, you and I, we have opposing views on some pretty big things.
Do we? What?
Yeah, we do. They're not deal breakers, obviously. We're married, but they're still pretty big things. Other people may not have been able to get past or move past them, but
well, that's why I'm not married to you and she ain't married to you.
What? You are married to me.
I'm just saying, like other people, oh man, that attitude or the way he said that, over. The way she moved it,
right.
over. Well, that's why y'all ain't together.
Right. So
that's why we're together.
But it's a really, for me and for you, we are confident in what we know. And you can't tell me anything outside of that unless you give me hard facts. I told him, prove it. And I don't mean it in a demeaning kind of way.
Disparaging way.
Yeah, it's nothing where it's like, I don't believe the things that you were saying. No, show me the facts, because that's what changes my mind. So you're just saying, well, this just works better. Well, how do you know it works better? I've been doing this and I know this works. So why am I going to change what I know works for something that might work? Like, you need to show me facts that, no, this works too. Because if it's more efficient, more effective, absolutely I'm going to change. But I need you to show me. Show me. You're the same way. No, where'd you read that from? I don't know, some article. Well, show me the article. Which article did you read? And then I'd be like, hold on, it's gonna take me a long time because it was on my phone and I don't know where it's at now because it's technology. But
stupid algorithm wipes things clean the moment you close an app out.
Exactly. So, but again, we have determined that communication is sufficient for us. The other people was like, excuse me, so you're just gonna go against me? I'm not going. I want you to show me the facts. Like I said, if it's better, then it's better. If it's not, then we shouldn't change to something that's not better. That doesn't make any sense. What did they say? Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. If it ain't broken, why I gotta fix it?
Exactly. But again, that works for us. That is how I am. Explain to me. I like research. I like facts. Show me the facts. Show me the article. Show me the journal entry. Show me the whatever it is that you saw. Show me. Because for me,
teach me.
I am a student at heart. I am a student. So show me, teach me. Don't just tell me. I'm not going to do it just because you said so. There's only one woman that worked with, and she is no longer on this earth. So for everybody else, just because you said so doesn't mean anything to me now.
Well, I know because I'm the man. That don't mean.
And I know because I'm the woman.
That don't mean anything.
It means a lot.
I'm just saying.
It's just not going to win your argument.
In our marriage, that doesn't mean anything.
No, like it means a lot.
Because I'm the man. Because I'm. That don't mean jack.
It does. I mean,
it
doesn't mean Jack. No way.
Jack?
No.
In the box?
It means a lot. It's just not going to win an argument.
No, I'm just being like for real. Like that, having that mentality, like I'm the man. That
didn't serve you anything. Yeah, didn't it?
It doesn't work with us.
No.
Because it's literally we decided.
I don't like the way that you're saying that. See, I'm being honest. I don't like the way that you're saying that.
Because it's true. Like, we come to an agreement on stuff. It's not...
I know it's true.
I never be like, this was going to happen. Actually, I think I've done that once.
No, you've done it more than once. You've done it a handful of times.
The last time I can...
And you saw me stare daggers at you, and then we talk about it later on. Because...
When did I do that? You remember?
Do I really have to?
This is an example of what we be doing.
Yeah, he brings up something. I tell him it happens, and he wants me to give him the day, what he was wearing, what everybody ate, what time of day it happened, what we were doing. But false. When I do it,
false.
None of those things happen.
False.
Most of the time you've done it, it involves the kids, which is it's just. What? You want to take me to 0 to 60? That's it. Yeah.
What was
let's see. What was the last thing?
Was it yesterday? No, I was playing.
No, it wasn't yesterday.
I didn't do nothing.
It was.
Just want to give you guys a living example.
I don't understand who this is supposed to serve, but okay.
The people.
It was a few weeks ago. And who was it? I told the kids to like eat cereal or something. Like I specifically told them to have cereal, and you decided that they needed to have oatmeal. You decided. Like I told them, go get the cereal because I was going to the grocery store. I was going to be buying milk, so we'll use up the little milk that's in there, so that way we have space in the fridge. So go eat cereal. Yeah. He's like, no. Go have oatmeal.
Oatmeal.
Which
because we're going to save the milk.
Which the kids,
not knowing she's going to go buy milk that day.
Which the kids use water to make their oatmeal, so milk is still in the fridge. And I'm looking at them like, why? And well, he said to eat the oatmeal. So we ate the oatmeal. And I'm looking at him like, remember we talked about it last night? I'm going to the store and...
No recollection.
Oh! I think you did tell me that.
Yeah.
So then later...
There's a living example.
Yeah. So of course, not in that moment, not in front of the kids, but later we have a discussion about, remember how I said...
We had a discussion about remembering the things that she says.
Yes, because this was an instance, because sometimes the kids won't say, well, you know, mommy or mommy Q said X, Y, Z. A lot, like sometimes they won't say that, but this was an instance where they actually said, mommy Q said to eat the cereal. No, I said eat the oatmeal. so we... Overruled. Yeah. So we had a conversation about that one.
Brain food today.
We had a conversation about that one. But like I said, it's not in front of the kids. Because trust me, there once was a time in the beginning of the marriage where it was like, I don't care who hears me. Understand this, sir. So.
Did I understand?
It created more conversations. That's what it did. It created more conversations. I don't understand why you do that. We're supposed to be on the same page. Okay, well, if we're all supposed to be on the same page and I told him to do this, then why are you telling him to do the opposite of what I said? So you just need to go on my page and, so.
Your page? What about our page?
Yeah.
And so that's what we honestly started working on.
Yes, we did. But it came about through my honest, as you say, superficial speech about, I don't like the fact that you did this.
That's not
or
superficial.
Again. That's what you said.
You
said the way that I'm talking about honesty is superficial, even though
in the beginning, but that moment, that wasn't superficial. You
But it's the same thing. What did I do? I told you how I was feeling about a particular situation, which is what I said in the beginning of this episode. So how do you show honesty? I speak my truth about whatever I'm thinking or feeling in that particular situation or about a particular person or whatever it is. Well, that's superficial. That's how that went. Yeah.
No, I remember all of it and all that happened.
So.
All that was said.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think. So I'm just gonna throw this in there, just thinking about it. I think the reason that honesty is an easier trait for me to exemplify and exude is because, like I said, my family is blunt. And I can remember from, very young, like things my mom would talk about, and she spared no feelings. She didn't leave anything to the imagination. It was just all out there. So for me and my my previous education growing up, that is how you are supposed to do things. You just let people know. Of course, as I got older and I realized sometimes your word choice might need to be different, but you still let the people know, which is what I adopted. Depending on, like, with my family, a lot of times I don't have to do it. Thank God for that, because sometimes it can be tiring. And when I speak to God, I don't do that. Thank God for that. When I pray out loud, I tend to do it because I know other people are listening and I don't want them to have any feelings or, I don't know, odd perceptions. I don't do it so much now, like in here, and I don't think I do it as much with you unless it's like specific situations where I know that's a touchy subject still. So, but what about for you? Why do you think? I think
too much.
Honesty is so difficult.
Because I think too much.
So I don't think?
No, I think. Anyways, I think too much. For some, I don't know. I just think too much. I think things. I be in my head too much about what it is that I want to say, and how it's going to make somebody else feel. So I end up not saying much, which can come off as being mysterious, not open.
No, yeah, I didn't say mysterious is not the right word.
Being disengaged, I guess.
Closed is good. Not open. Closed. That's
okay.
good.
Because it's just like, oh, if I say this, and I don't know, that might not fly well, or it may not be perceived the way I want it to. So there's a deep thought process in my head. So a lot of times me exemplifying honesty is delayed, because I be thinking, I be hearing, I be thinking, analyzing, processing feelings, and then here comes my response. But a lot of times it's not it's not while the conversation is happening. It could be a day later, 2 days later, a week later. And so I just be thinking too much. And so that's one of the things I've been working on. It's just
not thinking?
Sharing. Just sharing what it is that's on my mind with you, because that's the only person I'm really around for right now.
Wow. Like, he said that with so much enthusiasm.
No, I'm just saying, because we don't really hang out with your family. We're not really hanging out with my family on the big scale. We're not really kicking it with friends or anything
That's
like
true.
that. So it's just, the practice is at home.
Right.
So that's all. Don't even
I don't know.
say it like
No,
that.
it was more so fun than anything, poking fun at you. I'm not entirely sure that I'm the best person for you to practice with, though, because I know you very well, and oftentimes I will, so you've gotten into the habit of saying what you're thinking and then explaining how you got to that process, so that I won't be lost, even though I'm not normally lost, because I pretty much know what your thought process is, which I don't think, or which I think that makes me not the best person for you to practice with, because I know your thought process. I know, the shortcomings, the insecurities. I know the strengths, and when there's a time where you have to be honest, and it would normally take you some time to think and analyze and think again, and then weigh, is that the better way or is this the better way? When you go through that process, I already know, like, okay, he's probably gonna
She's
land.
got the SWOT analysis on me.
Yeah, I'm like,
strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. She's got them.
Yeah, he's probably gonna land somewhere around here with that. But what he means is this, and then you tell me whatever it is, and it normally is there. Like, my assessment for the most part is normally right, and then I do so what you said was this. This is what I'm understanding. This is what you said. Did you mean? And then I say what I think you mean, and you're like, yes. That's what I was trying to say. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is why I said I don't think I'm the best person
Of course you are,
to
too.
practice
Over
with.
time, get better at it.
You think so?
Get better
Okay.
at sharing my true and honest self.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Thought
I
process,
hope so.
my feelings, what I'm feeling in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing so much thinking in my own head and not expressing. So there'd be a lot of times I'd be like, man, I won't say nothing, and then time flies. All of a sudden, it comes out.
Yeah, I think you should.
So just get in the habit of self-work.
Right. And for those moments where you're thinking a lot, you can also put out there, like, okay, this is what I'm thinking, and then go through that. So sometimes, I know for me, especially when I was younger, because if you ask probably anybody in my family, although I'm pretty sure you can tell now, I would talk through a lot of things. I like to speak. I like to talk. So I would be thinking about something and I will say it out loud. So I will work through whatever it is out loud. And even now, sometimes, depending on the situation, like I've done this a lot of time with the ladies in the crew, like I will call them or FaceTime them, because Apple, and I will say like, okay, is this just me or does this make sense to you? And then I will go through the situation and be like, I don't know if that's a me thing, because everyone has their shortcomings. And, sometimes some of those can cloud your thoughts and your judgment. And so I could be thinking something is huge when in all actuality, it really boils down to my own personal insecurity or a misunderstanding of something, like slang words but used a lot of times. Like, yeah. So they said this, but like, do they mean? No.
Well, that's I think that's a benefit too. And being comfortable enough to do that, and then also maybe this is just in my own head, women are more open to that.
What do you mean?
Than men are.
Women are more open to
hearing the emotional side of someone.
Well, what I was talking about wasn't emotional.
No, I'm just saying, period. It's just your thought process. What it is that you're thinking, what it is that you're feeling, is this correct?
So women, okay, so
as opposed to men, you don't. You ain't really
just say whatever it is that you need to say and let's move forward.
Yeah, it's not really like, man, this is what I'm feeling. It's like, oh.
Well, what about this is what I'm thinking? Because like I said, in those situations, I mean, I've definitely gone to them and like how I'm feeling about the situation. Like, am I just over exaggerating? I've done that. But what I'm talking about is not necessarily the feelings of whatever the situation is, but the understanding of what's being communicated. So instead of this is what I'm feeling, have you done this is what I'm understanding is being said, or this is what I'm thinking.
But you get to that because there's intention around constant. Well, I was going to say CC, but constant communication. So you can get to that point, get to that level to where you can express those things because there's intent to be constant in your communication, which is all that's doing is just growing the relationship.
Well, right. Men can do the same thing, and it's not that they don't, because it is
I'm not saying
known
they don't. I'm
fact
just saying
that men talk a lot and gossip. It's a known fact.
I'm not saying that's not true.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying that it's more. You don't get that often. Is what I'm saying. You don't get that often.
Right. Well, that is an environment that you have to be intentional about creating.
Yeah, I got you.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. Trust me, that's not an environment that I have with every female person that I talk to.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely not. There are a small group of people. I mean, although I'm an open book, but there are still a small group of people where I will go to them like, okay, somebody said this. This is what I'm thinking. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay. And then from there, I'm like, okay, that makes me feel like this. Is that like, am I over exaggerating in that situation?
Yeah, just like in our group, no.
No what?
It's dead.
You don't wait.
No, I'm just talking in our text group is dead.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, we haven't been
it's just
texting.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about from the guys. Period. Long standing. It's pretty much dead. There's nothing happening in there. It's nothing at all. So I'm just saying. I don't know if the environment. I don't know if the environment has been created. Everyone's not comfortable yet, or whatever the case may be. But not so much is happening in that area. So but that just does prove the fact that you got to be intentional
in creating that environment.
And it has to be a collective intention. It can't just be one person, because otherwise it's just going to fall on deaf ears.
Someone has to, what is it?
There's got to be an initiator.
Yeah.
But then
but there's a saying, and I can't think of the saying. Someone has to spark the
It doesn't matter.
Someone has to take the first step.
Like I said, someone has to initiate, and then it gets built upon that.
Right. And sometimes it's not even like, okay, I'm going to take this one step and then everyone else is going to meet me. No, like you might have to take a few hundred steps. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, okay. And then they'll meet you. And that, you don't know what that's are contributed by because you don't know what their backgrounds are, their understanding of intent.
Will.
Right.
But you will through conversation, through communication.
Yeah, as you continue. Yeah. So honesty, sincerity.
So within the family, since we are blended, I think honesty weighs an extreme amount of weight, because there are different emotions, there are different thoughts, there are different feelings, and we're merging as one. So where a child has their thought process and their desires and their wants may not be their reality. So we've dealt with, I want mom and dad together. But mom and dad like to be friends. There is no together. This is our new together. And so creating that environment to where they're open and honest enough to share that, I think that's pivotal. Because all that's going to do is help let us know where they're at and what it is that we have to do to make the proper adjustment to where it's easier to deal with, or easier to come to terms with, or live with, or grow into.
So oddly enough, yes, it is pivotal. It's paramount. It is extremely important to make sure that environment is part of the foundation for blended families, but I know especially for ours. But I don't think that it was a difficult thing to accomplish. And I don't know if it's because the kids were so young, or it's because they kind of already had that baseline previously. So before we were together, when it was just me and Royalty, and then you and
Yvonne
and Princess. Yes. She and I, we already had that. There are no secrets. You tell the truth. Like, we already had that. So did you. So merging it, it's like, no, we're all on the same page. Now you just have an extra person that you can be like that with. And then same for Royalty.
That was intentional in our conversations, though, with them, was creating that environment to where they can express themselves honestly.
Right, but I'm saying, you mean when we're separate?
No, when we came together.
Okay, so when we came together,
because I can tell you on my side, it wasn't easy to come in and merge. Not for Yvonne. No, it wasn't.
Yvonne and I had.
It was
past tense.
It was
present. We had no problems.
Okay, that's what you said. But I'm just letting you know it was a challenge.
There are things that I cannot say because there is recording. So when I say that, I mean that in all sincerity and honesty.
So we've had our conversations leading up to. And then when we were together, we had those conversations, moving together, marriage, and all of those things.
Okay, well, I guess for Ray, it was a bit, I don't know, more well-defined. It was an easier transition because she understood.
No, even me and her had a conversation.
I'm sure you guys had a conversation. I'm talking about prior to that. It was understood. This person is to be treated like myself. And there are things we do and things we don't do and all of that stuff. And
but kids are still going to be kids. Just because there's an understanding doesn't mean,
kids are going to be kids.
We're all good in that category. We're straight.
Well,
no, there's always going to be. So that's what I'm saying.
I never said that it was going to be seamless and perfect. But I said that there was an understanding, so it made it easier. It wasn't like we were going from somebody who had never been introduced to the idea of honesty with parenting. No, they both had a level of understanding with honesty. One, what it is. Two, how to show it. Now it's, okay, so instead of just the two of us,
it's all of us.
We also have.
Which is why we had that conversation by saying, whatever it is you're feeling or you think I've done wrong, tell me.
Right.
Let me know. Because there isn't in blending a family, for me the thought process is there isn't replacement. There's just addition. Mm-hmm. Not replacing anybody, you're not replacing anybody. We're just adding to the family.
Right.
In a, I would say, creative way.
Okay.
Because we are Christians, and there's a certain way through our religious and upbringing on how family's supposed to be developed and come together. So we have a creative way of coming together, and so that's why we've had those talks and made sure it was clearly understood. And whenever Ray has come to me quite a few times, and I'm just like, I didn't mean to, but she wouldn't know that. I'm not showing that at all.
Right.
But it's just like, got it. Let me make this adjustment. Perfect. Yvonne the same way. Achilles, he don't know. With me. I'm just saying with me.
I think he knows a lot more than he lets on.
He probably does.
Because I say that because part of that first definition of honesty is without deceit. And Achilles, especially recently, has been exemplifying a lot of not outright dishonesty,
being creative,
but a lot of
creativity.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's understandable.
Like with the whole
with the TV,
no TV, no electronics, and
he took that as no iPad, but TV is cool because I'm not watching it, I'm playing it.
But I
can't have the TV too loud
because she'll
know.
Let
me turn it down.
Yeah, so it's like,
I got you.
You know that.
But he's getting older.
Exactly, that's that testing. Which I don't.
Yeah, kids always gonna try.
I know, but I'm not the person to be trying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not the person to be trying. No, but he's growing up and he's growing into his own, and that's what I'm saying. He's starting to understand a lot more. Because in order for you to make all those connections to end at that result, you had to be like, okay, she said don't watch the TV and don't get on the iPad. She did not say anything about games though. Mm-hmm. So. And
he knows I don't like the TV loud too, so he gonna make sure the TV is low. Than normal. Right.
And then he killed me with his face though when I came to the room. I was playing a game and eating my food. Eyes this big, just like. Like, sir, so, how are you gonna play a game with both your hands but also be eating your food? Like, you didn't magically grow an arm like Stitch? Like, what?
Makes no sense. But yeah, so we just felt that honesty is extreme. Is that's why the H comes first. Is making that mental decision to create that space of vulnerability, acceptance, understanding.
Vulnerability is next.
And just be honest. Honesty in your expression. I think that's really what being honest is. To me, it's an action word because you're going to express what it is that you're feeling, but you're also going to show it as well. Yeah. So when they match together, all we're seeing, all we're interpreting is you being your true self. So that's just a tip for everybody out there. Yes. I mean, from me, that's just a tip.
Honest in your words and your actions. They should be congruent, and when they are not, that is when you get confusion.
Yeah, but then you have those loved ones, you have those people that are there for you, that support you, whether they friends or family or any other type of relationship, that'll point it out and then be like, oh, that wasn't my intention. Let me get this stuff back realigned.
Right.
And let me re-explain myself, because the first go around, what didn't work. The second go around may not work, but that third one, I'm gonna
do better.
It may come clearer, and now now you take that and you grow from it, because your desire should be the best person that you want to be.
Exactly.
So yeah, so that's what we got for you today on this, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.